Hello, I'm Madison McAllister, and I will be presenting on The Beautiful Victim, Poe, Hawthorne, and True Crime's reflection on women as victims. So, to begin, Poe's fascination with female death. Poe's writing often connects beauty, love, and death, especially through the loss of a woman. His stories and poems show how grief turns love into obsession. Women in his works are remembered not for who they were, but for how their deaths affect the man left behind. This pattern reveals this era's view of, their sexist view of women as symbols fragile, pure, could do no wrong, and defined by a male emotion. From a psychological view, Poe's narrators often show melancholia, or the inability to let go of dead, turning the lost woman into an idolized memory rather than a person to be mourned. So, to start off with some of Poe's works that revolve around women dying, we have The Raven, and in The Raven, the narrator mourns the loss of Lenore. A quote from that is, "And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before." Another quote is, "Quoth the raven nevermore." Lenore never speaks throughout the work. She is remembered only in absence as an idolized figure of beauty and loss. Through a psychological lens, Poe's obsession reflects melancholia, clinging to a preferred memory instead of reality of the victim. So another work is Annabel Lee. Annabel Lee tells the story of a man who mourns his lost love, a young woman who lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. As he says, her death is idolized. The narrator blames the angels, not half so happy in heaven, for being jealous of their love and taking her away from him. A quote from that is, "But our love, it was stronger by far than the love of those who were older than we, of many wiser than we." This reflects how strongly he felt their connection was, and that strong connection led to her demise. Even in death, Annabel Lee becomes eternal, her beauty and innocence frozen in memory. The poem turns loss into obsession, showing Poe's pattern of romanticizing female suffering and transforming women into symbols of perfect, unreachable love. Psychologically, this refers to the same melancholic grief as the raven. He just cannot separate love from grief of these women. Hawthorne, this here is Nathaniel Hawthorne. His view of women and science, a little background. Nathaniel Hawthorne often explored how men use science, intellect, and morality to control over perfect women. His stories reveal anxiety about women's independence and changing social roles in the 19th century. Women in his works are frequently victims of male ambition, loved less as people and more as ideals or experiments. Hawthorne exposed how society views women's bodies as something to be studied, fixed, or purified. His writing reflects the tension between male rationality and female nurture, showing how male control often leads to destruction. Like Poe, Hawthorne's women suffer for men's obsessions, but instead of grief and love, his cause is science and perfectionism. So, some works of Hawthorne's are, to begin with, The Birthmark. In The Birthmark, Georgina becomes the victim of her husband Aylmer's scientific obsession. A quote, "Aylmer had long laid the severest blame on himself for not having achieved a perfect woman. Georgina pleads, 'You have aimed loftily, you have done nobly. Do not repent that. You have rejected the best the earth could offer.' Her death shows the danger of male control over women's bodies. Psychology, Aylmer reflects perfectionism and objectification. Did I say rejection? Valuing an ideal over Georgina's humanity. It's very relevant to today, I feel like, because of the beauty standards and how they've elevated from just small things to every little thing is a critique. Another source, Rappaccini's Daughter by Hawthorne. Beatrice, poisoned by her father, is turned into an experiment. She dies when Giovanni and her father force her into a choice she never wanted. Her voice and autonomy are erased by male ambition. Like Georgina, her death becomes a lesson, not a tragedy for herself. Shared patterns in Poe and Hawthorne. In both authors, women are idolized in death by Poe, controlled or destroyed by men, Hawthorne. Women are symbols, objects of grief, science, or morality. Their individuality and voices are silenced, and this reflects 19th century sexism and the objectification of women's bodies. True crime today. Modern culture continues fascination with female victims. Some popular examples of this fascination are Laura Palmer, the main character, even though she's not really in it, Twin Peaks, fictional small-town girl whose death drives the entire story. Her beauty and innocence make her the perfect victim. This is her here. Gabby Petito, she went missing in 2021 because her boyfriend kidnapped her. This case dominated headlines, and it is a classic example of missing white woman syndrome, which focuses on young, attractive white women rather than other minorities who are going through the same tragedies, if not more tragic events, but the looks of the white woman reflect this missing white woman syndrome phrase. True crime podcasts and shows like Serial, My Favorite Murder often center women victims whose deaths are framed as tragic and haunting. Pattern to this just reflects that society still elevates women in death, giving them cultural importance they were denied in life. Parallels between text and true crime. Poe mainly focused on beautiful women becoming more poetic in death, like true crime victims turn into icons. Hawthorne focused on women destroyed by men, parallels with domestic violence cases and controlling relationships today. Both of the authors basically just focus on women's individuality being erased. They are remembered as stories rather than people, and it's not that both of these authors are trying to have that theme in their work. I feel like Hawthorne is probably more picked up onto it, but Poe kind of just truly felt that way, I guess, and everyone really enjoyed his work, and that started like picking up the weird theme of, hey, why do we like female victims? So a little bit more background on the psychology of fascination. This here is Sigmund Freud. Poe's obsession with Lenore can be seen through Freud's concept of melancholia, which states when a person cannot let go of a lost loved one and instead internalizes them as a perfect idolized memory. Instead of accepting loss, the mourner clings to an image of perfection, exactly what Poe's narrator does in The Raven. This links the Gothic obsession with death to real psychological behavior. Conclusion. In conclusion, Poe and Hawthorne show how women's suffering was romanticized in early literature. True crime reveals this obsession has not gone away and it has only changed form. The beautiful victim remains central to our culture and fascination, raising the question, do we honor women when we retell their deaths, or do we turn them into objects of entertainment? These are my recited. Thank you.